Forgiveness is when you overcome the emotions, you take that attention of that person, of that situation, and you are freeing yourself. If you are unaware, you can control your emotional state. You will be relying on something outside of you, whether it is drug, shopping, or food, to make that feeling go away. 50% of the story that people tell about their past experience are not even the truth. They use that to justify why they have not changed since that event happened. Most people want to change and know what they want to change, but they don't do it. They don't. The feelings and emotions are the byproduct of any experience. The stronger emotions we have towards an experience, the more outer we feel inside of us. The more the brain frees as a frame and take a snapshot, and that's what we call a long-term memories. That image is being bossed neurological in the brain. So every time when a person remembers that event or anything trigger, or they got betrayed, they got traumatized, they produce the same chemistry in their brain and body as if the event is occurring. So what happens over time is that process conditions the body to literally believe that they're living in the past. If the person is living by the same feeling every single day, whether it is shame, guilt, or worthiness, or suffering, or victimizations, or depressions, or whatever it is so important for them to come right against that emotional state, because they're coming up against the known. So the most important questions for that person is it possible for me to feel a different feeling? Now, you cannot feel a different feeling other than the feeling that you're so used to feeling. The research had done and showed that the only way you're actually going to reprogram your brain to work in your favor is to learn how to regulate your brainwave. And that's why people say, reprogram your subconscious mind. Change. But how to change? And the easiest way, according to science, is reprogram your subconscious mind. And by doing that is to regulate your brainwave. Now, our brainwave. Beta brainwave. They are the pattern of thinking brainwave. It is the analytical mind that create critical facilities. You experience whatever you experienced in the past, 90% of the thought are the same as the day before. And so your thoughts become automatic. If you keep thinking the same thing again and again and again, they become a belief. And when they become a belief, unconsciously, they become so automatic and they become in your subconscious mind. In order for us to change that program, we need to get into the operating system, get into the subconscious mind. How? And the only way to do it is to slow down your brainwave. Slow down your brainwave into that thinking neocortex. The challenges for people is that they have so many demands in their life. They have so many emotional response to the circumstances in their life that they're living constantly in a state of stress. Living in the state of stress and survival, you don't close your eye. You got to keep your eye on everything. You got to keep your attentions to the outer environment so that your brain tends to work in the higher brain wave pattern. And that is driving you, that is almost like driving your sport car in a first gear. So it's so hard for people to really relax and calm down when you are living in a constant stress. So learning how to regulate and slowing your brainwave down is a skill, and you can learn that. And how is by practicing. When the brain starts to relax, it moves into less of that chatter in your brain and more into that relaxing imagination state. Now that door open between the conscious and the unconscious. And it happens so as that opening, we get to go beyond the analytical mind, and which is we come into the alpha brainwave. As you slow your brain down into alpha, you're entering into the operating system. And that's when you can rewrite your program, rehearse a new script. You can begin to plan your behavior in an intentional way. And then as you go down, even slowing, we are going into the theta. Theta is the dreaming state, or daydreaming. It's a very relaxed state and very suggestible if you go into that state. But however, what I see in many people, including my clients, stress, burnout is usually preventing them to change. Stress is when people living in the survival mode. To name those emotions, it would be anger, frustration, controlling, hate, envy, jealous, insecurity, suffering, depression, shame, guilt. These emotions are all derived from the outer state of consciousness, and they are not normal. In stress, our body is out of balance because we are perceiving some threat, some danger out there. So the stronger the emotions you feel to any stressor in your life, the more you pay attention to. And in time, you have to keep all your attentions on all the importance in your life. So you sit down to try to do your meditations, and when you live in stress, you are in survival mode. And that's why many people say, I can't do meditations, my mind could not calm down. Because in that survival mode, there are only 3 things that is important to you in that moment. You pay attention to your body, something in the environment, and you're very preoccupied with time. The brain is trying to predict what is going to happen in the next moment based on what it learned in the past. So you're always trying to forecast the future based on your memory and based on your experience in your past. That's why you cannot be in the present moment. And so to really calm ourselves down, the easiest way is to do meditation, because it opens the gate for you to go into the operating system. I'll see you in my next video, and we will talk about how human brains work.